Hello, this is Tuesday, November 30th, 2021, the last day of November. I'm Glenda Carlin, and this is our weekly A Course in Miracles meeting. Yay, via Zoom. Welcome, welcome, 7 to 8 Eastern Standard Time, every Tuesday evening. Welcome, Holy Son of God, Joan Lloyd. Welcome, Holy Son of God, Angela. Welcome, Holy Son of God, Nancy. Welcome, Holy Son of God, Lynn. Welcome, Holy Son of God, Eli. Welcome, Holy Son of God. That could be Leellen, I'm not sure, behind the iPhone. Welcome, Holy Son of God, and your Sonny, Joanna. Welcome, Holy Son of God, Darlana. Welcome, Holy Son of God, Kareen. Welcome, Holy Son of God, Teresa. Welcome, Holy Son of God, Debbie. Welcome, Holy Son of God, Julia. In the Course, Jesus wants us to think of our brothers as holy sons of God, see the face of Christ. And we do that by silently saying that to people, even though we may not believe it. The whole thing is based on saying these truths, and ultimately you will believe them and you will live it. There's Sharon. Hi, Sharon. I'm going to just mute you. Hi, darling. And we're recording now. I want to invite in, of course, they're always here. In the Course, Jesus says, and this is a direct quote, I'm literally with you. He's right here, right now. Just like Holy Spirit, he said, just reach out your hand, not even put out your arm, just reach out your hand. Right there he is. Holy Spirit, Jesus, Buddha, ascended masters, enlightened beings. We invite everyone in, guide us what to do or say, and to have fun. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you, Bill and Thetford and Helen Schuchman, for doing A Course in Miracles. Thank you, Gary Renard, for Disappearance of the Universe and other books you do. Thank you for that Lama Surya Das that does his high Dzogchen Buddhist teachings that parallel the Course. And for the meditation groups I belong to, that Dzogchen LA group that meditates every day, besides that Lama Surya's group on Sunday. That meditation is just priceless, which I'll be talking about tonight. And so let's start off by we're going to meditate. And this time, though, I'm going to read the meditation that's in the Course. And we've talked about before that people will say, well, the Course doesn't talk about meditation, but Jesus never uses that word, but he always talks about it like, I will be still and listen to the truth. That's in workbook 106. Well, what to be still is to calm the mind and to go and be in meditation. And then that same paragraph, it says, be still and listen to the truth today. For each 5 minutes spent in listening, 1,000 minds are open to the truth, and they will hear the holy word you hear. And when the hour is past, you will again release 1,000 more who pause to ask that truth be given them along with you. I mean, how powerful this is when you just take an instant to rejoin with the light during the day. If you do it 2 or 3 times a day, called shorties or quickies, or if you choose to meditate with a group 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or an hour a day, it's priceless. And Holy Spirit uses your light, and Jesus uses your light to help help countless. We have no idea. This just said 1,000 and 1,000 more. So it is a practice that has unbelievable consequences, because the 3 major ways to undo false ego is to practice Jesus's advanced forgiveness. 1, 2, on everything that shows up in front of your face and the images that show up in your mind. And we do that by silently saying, you are spirit, whole, pure, and innocent, all is forgiven and released, or saying all of it to that image or person or event. And to yourself, you say, I am a mortal spirit. This body is a false image and has nothing to do with what I am. Or you say, all of it to yourself. It's that simple in this advanced forgiveness. And the second is turn your day over to Holy Spirit, telling you be the boss, guide me what to do or say. And third is meditation. Those are 3 major ways to undo this false ego. And that's in that 4-page forgiveness document I composed from the course and Gary Renard's different info. And if you do not have that, or if someone's listening to this via YouTube, you can email me or private message me on Facebook and provide your email address, and I will forward that forgiveness document along with a document that lists where the Great Ray and Arc of Light are located in the course. And a third document Kareem reminded me of that came out of one of Renard's books is a list of items you can do to relax the ego while you're practicing this advanced forgiveness, the lessons in the course, etc. So in that 4-page forgiveness document, here's a paragraph. It's the actual meditation. A written one that's besides all the other places that Jesus has in the course. It's in chapter 21, section 1, paragraph 8. Now I'm going to read it first. Then I'm going to repeat certain sentences to you as you rejoin and contemplate this meditation. Because I did this meditation for 3 or 4 years. I kind of forget the length, not knowing what would happen, but I was imagining, I knew enough that arc of light, I'll summarize it. The arc of light, picture a circle that you take an ink pen and you just draw a circle on a piece of paper. An arc is just a little teeny tiny piece out of the edge of that circle. And that meditation says, beyond the body, beyond the sun and stars, past everything you see, and yet somehow familiar, is an arc of golden light. He's talking about this teeny tiny little arc of light. And when the one Son of God had the crazy idea to be alone and blew its mind apart, that made these seeming billions of arcs of light. And each one of us wakes back up. As we wake up, we rejoin with Holy Spirit. And then when the last one wakes up, all the arcs then are awake and back with Holy Spirit. And the one Son of God's mind is reunited. And that Holy Spirit, that one mind, go back into God. It's all a dream. We've never left heaven, but that's the mortal thing that's happening here. So beyond the body, beyond the sun and stars, there's this arc. So this meditation asks you to think about that arc expands and fills a circle, fills the circle. So I would imagine it expands and fills the circle. Then Jesus has you imagine that the edges of the circle disappear. So I would imagine that edges disappeared and the light extends to infinity and to include everything. So this is the meditation we're going to do tonight, is this meditation. I'll read the whole thing first. Beyond the body, and you can ask Holy Spirit and Jesus to help you just be able to contemplate it, just sit with it. Beyond the body, beyond the sun and stars, past everything you see and yet somehow familiar, is an arc of golden light that stretches as you look into a great and shining circle. And all the circle fills with light before your eyes. The edges of the circle disappear, and what is in it is no longer contained at all. The light expands and covers everything, extending to infinity, forever shining and with no break or limit anywhere. Within it, everything is joined in perfect continuity. Nor is it possible to imagine that anything could be outside, for there is nowhere that this light is not. This is the vision of the Son of God, whom you know well. Here is the side of him who knows his Father. Here is the memory of what you are, a part of this, with all of it within, and joined to all, as surely as all is joined in you. Accept the vision that can show you this and not the body. You know the ancient song and know it well. Nothing will ever be as dear to you as is this ancient hymn of love the Son of God sings to his Father still. So if you would, just relax in your chair, close your eyes or have your eyes open, doesn't matter. I'm going to have you visualize this. We're going to visualize in your mind this. Oh, wait. Before we do that, this beautiful light that's so pristine, so loving, you want to rejoin with it. Before I describe all that, just picture an altar in your mind and put on that altar the things you think you need to be happy. And then see that altar and your body disappear into the light. Now I want you to focus your attention on, there's this little arc of light. And you're visualizing this little arc. It says here, it stretches. The arc stretches. And it fills that, it stretches the light, it just stretches, and the light fills that circle. You can just see that light fill that circle. I didn't imagine a very big circle. Mine was maybe an inch in diameter. Fill the circle, and then see the edges of the circle disappear. And what was in that circle is no longer contained. And then the light expands from the edge from the no edge circle to infinity. So then you're just visualizing that light just extends to, if you can imagine, beyond 360 degrees, past everything. Well, Jesus says here, beyond the body, beyond the sun and stars, past everything you see. So you're just imagining that light is going past all universes. That's the truth. And it covers all these images that we've made. That's what Jesus says here. And within it, let's see, was it? And covers everything. The light expands and covers everything, extending to infinity, forever shining and with no break or limit anywhere. Within it, that light, everything is joined in perfect continuity, nor is it possible to imagine that anything could be outside, for there is nowhere that this light is not. This is the vision of the Son of God, which is you. So you just do the best you can at that visualization, because I remind you that we, for billions of years, thought we were darkness. Dark, we were an image, a body, whatever we were. Now we're visualizing the light. We're faking it while we make it. So just stretch that light, see that light extend to infinity, and just rejoin with it here for a minute or two. And if your mind wanders to think of a thought or a word, you just call the leash of mindfulness. Just pull that on that leash and bring your mind back to that light. We're meditating for just about another minute or two. You imagine we're rejoining with that light that is our true self. You can imagine it as this arc of light that's expanded, stretched to fill a circle, and the edges of the circle disappear. And what's in that circle is no longer contained at all, which means you are not contained any now. You're not a body, you are free. You are this light. And that light stretches, fills a circle, and then continues on, extending to infinity, beyond this body, beyond the sun and stars, past everything you see. Now you can just keep visualizing what this, see, I didn't really know what I was doing. But since I've joined in with this Lama Surya Das's meditation group in Massachusetts and workshops with him and that Dzogchen group in LA, they do chants and prayers about the light. And he actually instructs about meditation. What this is called focusing your attention. Because see, the mind wanders. And then of course, Jesus talks about we're too nonchalant about this mind wandering. What this does is, see, you're focusing your attention on an arc of light, and you focus it on the stretching of the light to seeing the edge of the circle, focusing on the edge of the circle disappearing. Then you're focusing on that light, imagining it extending. This is huge because you're focusing your attention, because it's the mind has been you've been a robot to that wandering mind that's just darting from object to object to object. You're reining it in. Like Jesus says, this is a course in mind training. So this is focused attention. And I want to be talking about what comes later is what they call in this Buddhist group, sky gazing, which is also what this meditation talks about. This Jesus man, he's brilliant. Brilliant. He's combined in this one meditation, the meditation of sky gazing, where you're imagining that light's extending to infinity. And I can have you now, when you're doing that, imagining just infinity, focus your attention above your head and think about that light, that there's a straight line, like you're aligned with that light right above your head. And just picture you're aware, your focus, your attention's right in the middle, top above your head. If you take your attention out 360 degrees, it's called. Take your attention out both sides, one side, take your attention out, then take your attention to the other side. Then you take your attention to the front of that circle, tension to the back of the circle, tension above the circle, tension below the circle. You become the still point of the non-moving axis in the mandala, in the still center. I'm not doing that real well. You have to help me. But Lama Surya talks about there's a still axis, and that axis is where you live. That light is your holy self. But anyway, this one meditation contains focused attention and this 360 sky gazing, this big view it's called. So when you want, you can open your eyes, come back to this time and place. But this is a powerful meditation. I did this one for years before Holy Spirit told me about that there's this huge sun that's above my head and the great ray that comes off of it. So you can alternate between the two. The great sun, the big sun that's above your head, you're focusing your attention again. It took me 2 or 3 months to be able to get my attention above my head. Because see, we're so used to focused here on the horizontal plane of this battleground, the mortal world. So we're coming into a vertical axis and even going rising above it to above the battleground. This is sure great. Now, why I'm bringing this meditation up is this is a big deal. And one of the 3 main reasons why this spiraling download of light is happening now. Now, like I said, for God's sake, I'm 70 years old. So if I can do this, anybody can do it. It's just a matter of practicing, applying the principles in your daily life. That's your application of it. We can't just say the words. We have to, just not sit down and read the course, which is great. But as you walk around in your kitchen or in your home or at the grocery store, if you can somehow practice on people out there, that's when you will really find the movement toward experience happens. It's Jesus says in the course, it's in the application that the experience occurs. And I can swear by that. I'm a witness to that deal. So what then has happened is, because I would talk to you all about that, I would know the great ray would download and my mind would go, my head would go left and right. I was all used to that. But then what was it, November 21st, the light started to spiral from the top of my head down, and it's spiraling, it's spinning. And that would cause, when that first happened, then just my body would shake. It would be a shake, but now then it softens and then my body will quiver. And why that happens is because our body is an image in our mind. That's everything. The dream has been projected outside of us, but in reality, the dream is in our mind. That's why at night when you're asleep in bed and you wake up in the morning, you ask yourself, who was dreaming that? What was seeing that? Well, it was your mind. Your eyes were closed. You were watching a dream at night when you were in bed. You're safe in the bed. That's like you're safe at home in heaven, dreaming a dream of exile, but you're perfectly capable of awakening. But when we open our eyes, we think it's such, because everything's out here and you can touch it, seems very hard, firm. You cut yourself, you bleed. We never put our body in harm's way. But the point is, it's a daytime dream. These are images in the mind. That's why I ask you to practice forgiveness when you're sitting in your chair or paused. And if you catch yourself thinking about somebody, then that's the time to stop and practice forgetting. Because see, they're not there. You're thinking of an image in your mind. And you're recovering a conversation you had with them, or you were at Thanksgiving dinner with them, and either it was a good event or a bad event, I don't know. But you're rethinking something. It's images. So then you stop and practice forgiveness on those images in your mind. Because in reality, that's all they are. But Jesus in the Course, the first half of the Course has us forgiven all that stuff outside of us, because that then slowly gets you to come back into your mind to realize and reason with yourself that I'm doing this to myself. These are images in my mind. Now, it's not all your images. You've got your own collective, you've got your own dream, but there's the collective, unconscious, egoic dream going on. So it's both of them. So don't whack yourself up about world COVID. I mean, that's just collective ego. We just do our own forgiveness work on our own, what shows up in front of us. And if so guided, do vaccinations, wear your mask, get a booster shot, which I'm guided to do. I want nothing to do with it. I don't know what I agreed to in my unconscious mind. I'm playing it safe because I want to stay here and wake the hell up. If I'm sick in the hospital, how often can I think about God? I mean, damn, pardon my language. So anyway, what's happened, this was this 2014 is when I started practicing this advanced forgiveness, but you all can do it sooner. Might not take you 7 years, because see, I didn't have anybody guiding me to say, put sticky notes around and practice at the grocery store. I was just saying words, you know, I just didn't understand the point about application. It's the app where you try to apply it. But what happens now when I meditate is when that spiraling light is occurring, I just let it happen. I just relax. I'll take a deep breath and just relax and let the light come and go. And that's another thing about this Dzogchen Buddhist teaching. Man, they teach it that you let things come and go. That's really helped me, because these are simply images. They're thoughts of the mind. These are projections made from the mind. Now, you just let them come and go. Now, if something stopped right in front of you, you do have to be alert and be guided what you're going to do. You're going to walk around it. What are you going to say to it? You're going to be alert when you drive your car. But at the same token, you're watching for when you grab onto something or push something away. That's called attachment or aversion. And how you know you've done that is when you start to feel upset about something, or maybe happy about something, really happy. Then you've grabbed on to it or pushed it away, which means then you thought it was real. You made it real. You're reacting to it. Now, it doesn't mean you can't live in your life. We live our life, and we have to react to a kid. Don't let that kid run in the street. Well, that's a hot stove. Don't touch it. Get the pizza out of the oven. Don't hit the hot rack. I mean, we are alert to the moment, but yet as soon as we can, we practice thinking, that stove, that form's not really there. It's in my mind. That person I'm feeding dinner to, silently, you are spirit, hope, pure, and innocent, all is forgiven, release. So when that spiraling light's occurring, images show up in my mind. I know enough by now. I practice advanced forgiveness. I'm saying you are spirit, hope, pure, and innocent, all is forgiven, release, as soon as I can. And they just go like this. The images just pop. Because at Thanksgiving, then I was talking to my 3 sisters. I was talking to friends, those images with my neighbors, your immediate family members. So you're just still practicing forgiveness because they represent the thousands of people in all your life, your thousands of lifetimes that you're letting go of. You're letting go of them, and you're letting go of the person you used to be. You're letting go of your thinking you're a body and that they're a body, they are spirit. So as this forgiveness work is going on, the light spiraling, then when it's done, I know enough now, I just rest. I don't even move. Yeah, I don't want to move, number one, but I'm very still. And then I ask myself, who's watching this? Who's watching this? Who's doing this? And that's called a pith, P-I-T-H, or it's some word they use in the Buddhist community. And it's really great because it makes you stop like that. And well, who is thinking this? Well, it's your mind. It's either your egoic mind, but it's typically, if you're watching it, you're sensing what's going on. It's your higher Christ mind, your higher Buddha mind, your God self is watching this deal. It takes you, because somebody's watching it, for you to be aware of this and to be hearing all this, something's hearing it. Okay, but anyway, I would ask myself that, but then I get back in the stillness because I'm the God self. And it's so still, and I didn't understand this till Sunday when Lama Surya said, best to be still 30 minutes. You can be still 30 minutes, like release your mind back in to whatever thought it's thinking. Because again, you are focusing your attention. That's narrowing you in to really your real self. So then I would open my eyes and see the pure light, clear light of God. It's here everywhere. Like that meditation says, it covers everything. But more than, another word besides covers is picture, if this light is all there is, we've projected, meaning projected an image out on the light. So these images are laying on the light, really. They're just sitting around. Now, but also because we projected them out there and it's coming from our God mind, our light mind, light is running all the way through them because there's only God light. So therefore, that item has to contain light. That's the reasoning that you ultimately will come to, that there's only God. So as a result, there's light running through everything. But, okay, so that's typical of my meditation. But then last Sunday, during that 11 to 12 Eastern Standard Time Dzogchen meditation in Massachusetts, Lama Surya guided us all in meditation. And in so the spiraling light's occurring, and I'm shaking and quivering right there. And used to I'd be embarrassed, but I just go with it now. Because see, there's a synergy that develops, like this group, the light and spirit and love from all of you. Like when we joined in that meditation, that light and energy is here. You can call it light is energy, but Of course, energy comes and goes. I just used a word, there's light. And that light pulsates. It comes in and it goes out. So the only way it pulsates can be another word for vibrate. I don't know. But anyway, I'm in the spiraling light, and all of a sudden he says, stop breathing. And he never, ever said that. I've only been doing these meditations since last October, but I know enough to do what he says. So I stopped breathing. And in that instant, then when there's no breath, the awareness, the attention goes right to the light. Just the light is just a soft glow, it's just a soft movement. It's a stillness. There's a stillness to it, but it's soft, and that light is there. And in that stillness, that's when I searched the Course for the stillness, or the word stillness, or what would I search it for? Stillness and quiet. And Jesus says, and turn you to the stately calm within, where in holy stillness dwells the living God you never left, and who never left you. So when I go to that stillness, I think real fast, oh my, that's the holy living God in that stillness, which is also you and me and everything. So, and I'm not breathing, but man, real fast, that thought's showing up, because last week I talked kind of a little bit about this, and I'm going deeper in it, because this significance is huge, where you're trying to calm your mind, and why meditation is so important. Because it's focused attention is what I'm I could never be to where I'm at without meditation. And without this daily meditation with these Buddhist groups, I would not be right here, right now in my experiences. So, but Jesus says, I will be still an instant and go home. Whoa, in that stillness, you are home. In that holy instant, folks, you are doing something huge. When you think you just stilled your mind for a second, you're beating yourself up that you couldn't be still for a whole minute or 5 minutes. Be thankful for each second. Be still an instant, he says, and go home. So you are home in that instant. And then what's going to happen, it will build on itself if you meditate more, where you can be in that stillness, because that stillness was 30 minutes or more. And Lama Surya said, you can be still 30 minutes. That's the best thing to do. I went, whoa, okay. So now here's where else does he say, and this is worth repeating. Oh, whoa. Okay, and turn you, okay, wait. Let them, meaning error and guilt. This is in chapter 18, section 1, paragraph 8. Let them, meaning error and guilt, all go, dancing in the wind, dipping and turning till they disappear from sight, far, far outside of you, and turn you to the stately calm within, where in holy stillness dwells the living God you never left, and who never left you. The Holy Spirit takes you gently by the hand and retraces with you your mad journey outside yourself, leading you gently back to the truth and safety within. Now, see, in this paragraph, there's the second thing you want to do is turn your day over to Holy Spirit. That's because Holy Spirit takes you gently by the hand. Somewhere either in the Course or Renard's books, or it could be Kim Wapnick, he comments, you'd have no idea when you turn it over, just saying, I turn my day over to you, Holy Spirit, before your feet hit the ground when you get out of the bed in the morning. You've already in your unconscious mind told yourself there's another way to think here. There's Holy Spirit. Before all these billions of years, we've been thinking with ego. We never ever thought there was another way to think. So you're now turning to the real voice, the true voice. The egoic voice is false. So it's huge. Anytime during the day that you can think about Holy Spirit and turn, like if you have an issue or some story or issue, problem, turn it over to Holy Spirit, write it in your journal, then practice true forgiveness, on that. And then when you meditate, picture the altar and put that problem on the altar with your body and turn it over to the Holy Spirit. Let's see what else. Let's see. There was a couple of these that were just really at home in God. Let's see what this one. You know, the law of creation is that you love your creations as yourself because they are part of you. Everything that was created is therefore perfectly safe because the laws of God protect it by his love. Any part of your mind that does not know this has banished itself from knowledge because it has not met its conditions. Who could have done this but you? Recognize this gladly, for in this recognition lies the realization that your banishment is not of God and therefore does not exist. So that started out, that's chapter 10, section 1, paragraph 1, at home in God. The next paragraph says, you are at home in God, dreaming of exile, but perfectly capable of awakening to reality. Is it your decision to do so? So, you will remember everything the instant you desire it wholly. That's why you're setting your intention each day. And then in chapter 19, section ID 4, paragraph 1, as peace extends from deep inside yourself to embrace all the sonship and give it rest, it will encounter obstacles. You can indeed be sure of nothing you see outside you. Sure, what is it? You can indeed be sure of nothing you see outside you, but of this you can be sure. The Holy Spirit asks that you offer him a resting place where you will rest in him. And he says, and would you now return his graciousness and enter into a relationship with him? So that turning your day over to Holy Spirit, you're developing a relationship with him, a trust. And the peace, and as you rest, it said rest a while and invite Holy Spirit in. That rest, you might get an instant or two of stillness, because in that stillness is your holiness. Oh, but in chapter 20, Jesus says, section 2, paragraph 4, sentence 5, but look you first upon the altar in your chosen home. So picture it like in your house, if you have an altar above your fireplace or somewhere, see what you put on your altar. Have you laid upon it whatever you offer him or me or Jesus, it says? Did you offer us thorns with points that gleam sharply in blood red light? The body is your chosen home, and in the separation that you offer me, and yet the thorns are gone. And he wants you to go to the lilies. So you're thinking during the day, how you know what you're thinking, because it's all knee-jerk, it's all habitual, egoic behavior, is how your moods and your feelings. That's how you know which voice you've agreed to listen to. Because you're the watcher, the observer, you're the God self, the Christ mind, the Buddha mind. You've got to decide to go with that thought. You got to join with it. And then when you agree with it, then you are off doing whatever that thought is. And how you move, your mood and your feeling tells you if you're not peaceful or loving, you choose again. Holy Spirit, help me see this differently. I want to see it differently. This is our practice. It's a course in mind training, and how you get to your mind is how you feel. And then I wrote in here, or I found, I want to make sure, well, how's our time, is when I was looking for quiet mind, in the workbook, part 1, workbook 122, paragraph 1. Oh, and this heading for this whole workbook lesson 122 is forgiveness offers everything I want. And I kind of forget that number. In that one workbook lesson, not once, not twice, 3 times, Jesus uses an exclamation mark and says something like, here's the answer. And what the answer is forgiveness. That's why I keep motivating you to practice this forgiveness. Here's what he says. What what could you want forgiveness cannot give? Do you want peace? Forgiveness offers it. Do you want happiness? A quiet mind, a certainty of purpose, and a sense of worth and beauty that transcends the world? Do you want care and safety and the warmth of sure protection always? Do you want a quietness that cannot be disturbed, a gentleness that never can be hurt, a deep abiding comfort, and a rest so perfect it can never be upset? I mean, really. All this forgiveness offers you and more. It sparkles on your eyes as you wake. And then he says somewhere down here, let's see what he says. Here is the answer, exclamation mark. This is lesson 122, workbook section 1. Here is the answer, exclamation mark. So Jesus could have condensed this whole 2-inch thick book into that one darn lesson. Okay, children, will you please practice forgiveness? Please, 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 I'm begging. Well, but we see yet, that's why the whole big book's there. There's sentences that'll touch you. Like, I'm not a body, I am free, for I'm still as God created me. Okay, at the very end of that 120, not very end, in paragraph 4, it says, here is the answer. Seek for it no more. You will not find another one instead. So anyway, then that leads me to back to that workbook lesson 183 that says, this is another meditation of Jesus's. Practice but this today. Repeat God's name slowly, again and still again. Then there's some sentences, and then I just say, and then God's name becomes our only thought, comma, our only word, comma, the only thing that occupies our minds, comma, the only wish we have, comma, the only sound with any meaning, comma, and the only name of everything that we desire to see, of everything that we would call our own. I mean, how would he cram all into that one sentence? God's name becomes your only thought, your only word, the only thing that occupies our minds, your only wish. Can picture that one, the only sound with any meaning. And I sat with that and I thought, the sound, God. In the Course, Jesus talks about the echo. You say the word God, God must have so many vibrations and the total essence of the whole Course in that word God, because it means our Father, our Creator, love, that holy stillness. But that sound, the God, I let it echo. You know what I mean? When you say God, then just feel like you've said God over the big canyon and let the echo come back and vibrate, wash through you. And that's how I feel when I do those chants and meditations with those Buddhist groups. I don't understand any of those words. They say phrases and chants that have come from thousands of years, monks and lamas have said. And those people, those monks, their pure intention is to do nothing but chant and send out love and kindness and compassion to the whole universe. That's their goal. So those words are packed full of love and intention. And I just let them wash through me. Like picture the words just go through me. And that's how you can picture, like, I'm not a body, I'm free. And you just are imagining being free. You're not a body, and the light just extending out of you in all directions. Because that's really what it is. It's a hologram. We've put a virtual reality headset on. And in that headset, we projected these images, and we're walking around thinking we're snow skiing, hiking, walking, doing dishes, driving our car. It's all a virtual reality headset that we bought into and we're reacting to. What it is, it's a hologram, a big projector behind your head that's projecting light with images in it onto a big screen that's in front of you that Jesus says, behold the great projection. You can't go to the screen and tear it up, but you got to go back to that projector and change the film. And that's your mind. You got to change what you're thinking. And you just slowly do that with these lessons from the Course. And we're at 7:48. Anyone have a comment or something they want to say? Now, I see a hand up on iPhone. So we'll go to iPhone first and then to Lynn. Is iPhone, do you have your hand up or not? She may not be able to, she or he may not be able to. Oh,
Am I the only iPhone person?
you know, that's a good one. You are right now. Did you have
I
your
don't
hand
have
up?
any hand up. I don't know what happens.
Oh, well, no problem. No worries, sweetie.
I'm
Thank
sorry.
you. No worries. It gave our Holy Son of God. No worries. Okay. All right. Then Miss Lynn, you're up.
Yes, when I was looking for the chapter 10, 1.1, and going with you on that, I happened to, just before I got to chapter 10, I found something in chapter 9, something I forgot about, something that we've covered, but it kind of goes with this too. It says,
I'll go to it. Where is it,
let's
Lynn?
see.
Chapter
It's
9.
chapter 9.
Section 1.
Let's see. It is section 7,
Okay.
paragraph 8. It's the last paragraph of the section, just before
Okay.
it goes to,
Okay. Go ahead. I won't look for it. It'll take up time. Go ahead.
it says, whenever you question your value, say, God himself is incomplete without you. Or you say to yourself, without me. God himself is incomplete without me.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
so that, to me, that goes right along with, what you're saying about, sitting in, settling right into the quietness, the calm, and that being God, that also God isn't, God himself isn't complete without you there. So when you go to that quietness, you are part of that, part of God, and part of the completion of God.
well put, because remember, the one Son of God blew his mind apart into the arcs. So your arc, you've come back home. You've come back in that stillness and that into the oneness. And in essence, you are with God. Yeah. Yeah. He's incomplete without each one, because
Right.
we make the whole.
Yeah.
Isn't that beautiful to think?
Yeah.
We think of ourselves as a speck of dust,
right.
as a body. And today I even thought about it, because there's an experience I'm going to share with you next week that I had, etc. Anyway, the thing is, we think we're a body. And I had the experience where the body was, I felt it as a shell. It's just empty. Because see, really, the whole course teaches we're not bodies. These are thoughts. You're not a body. In essence, then you're nothing. And ego uses that on you, which is what you're saying, Lynn, that you're not of value. Ego uses it on you. You're just a body. You're worthless, a speck of dust. You mean nothing. But yet, because that's in the unconscious mind, the ego is playing that, doing that drum all day long unconsciously. And we're not even aware of it because it's unconscious, but he's beating the drum. You're a body, you're worthless, you're a speck of dirt, can't get anything right. You're making all these mistakes. Look at you, point out all your brother's problems and stuff. And that, no wonder a person feels nervous, upset, because underneath all these thoughts are going on. All right, you with me? They're going on. That's an iceberg of all this disorder of that you're a body, an empty shell. And we don't feel complete because we think we're a body. The completeness comes when the mind is returned. We return our awareness to our higher mind. Then the higher mind wakes up and that mind is full of light. Then that light fills the body and you feel complete then. The body's no longer empty. It's not a shell. It's not, but anyway, this is horrible stuff that ego's doing at an unconscious level to each of us. But God is not complete without you. You are a holy son of God, holy, holy, face of Christ. You are in essence God, because there's only God. Like I read some paragraph, he's your creator and he creates like himself. You are love, total love. Wow, this course is big. What you all are tackling is something huge. Very few people in history have ever thought of themselves as a mortal spirit or tried to think of their brother as a mortal spirit. It's huge what Jesus is teaching us here. So I congratulate each of you on what you're trying to do, but just be prepared that ego's here to try to sabotage it. So you're miracle ready, miracle minded, to be alert that ego's going to show up. That's why you're alert. You're alert when you drive your car. You're alert when you're home. You step down a stack of steps on stairs. You're alert to the moment so you don't slip, fall, have a car accident or something, because that's just part of a mortal world. And you just move with attention, yet knowing that these are images we've made up. It's hard to describe. Anyway, anyone else have a comment? Want to make a comment here? Beautiful. 7:50. All right, so let's see if I have another. Let's see, there's some stuff in chat. Let's see if I know what I've missed. Okay. All right, Gonzalo has said something. So key to do this meditative posture during our day. As you say, Glenda, the light coming down grounds us from the ego distracted mind. Great point to where all the insane images we see in our minds are being recirculated over and over. And I can't get my chat to go back up to read all this. But yeah, that's what ego does. If you have a particular person you got a slow burn on, meaning same problem seems to be showing up during the day, then that's in Gary Renard's books, he talks about Art and Persa identify some slow burns that they had in the last lifetime before they woke up. And they were like, remember one of them, I forget, the woman was a professor at a university and some student wanted her to give him a better grade. He was failing or something and she wouldn't do it. And so he said, if you don't do it, I'm going to say you sexually harassed me. And she didn't do it. And he went and said that she had sexually harassed him and something like that. The university believed him, fired her, and it took her years. She couldn't get a job. She had a slow burn on that for years till finally she did get a job at a university. That problem of that, that's why when some issue comes to you, like that kid came to her and said, you don't do it, I'm going to tell him you sexually harassed me. If she would sit with Holy Spirit for just a minute, she might have thought, well, hey, I better run over to the big office and tell him about this problem. This kid has said this to me. I didn't do it. Well, what's blah, blah, blah. Yet I don't know what Holy Spirit would have guided her to do. But and yet what happened, he went to the office and said, she did that to him. But the point is, if you do your forgiveness work, you can change dimensions of time and space where hard knocks will be erased of some of these dimensions that you agreed to, because we each agreed to our own script within the dream. But within the dream, in the miracles listing in the first of the book, it talks about changing dimensions of time and space can be done by a miracle. And a miracle is a change in perspective from false perception to true perception. And that's also with use of Holy Spirit. So I think there's millions of dimensions of time and space within that one script that we agreed to all of those dimensions of time and space. But depending on if you do your forgiveness work, then Holy Spirit heals the unconscious guilt that's as deep as an iceberg that you don't know is there. You can't get to it. That's why it's called unconscious. Freud talked about it. But this unconscious, it is deep. It is deep as an iceberg. But Holy Spirit can peel away thousands of egoic unconscious stuff if you do one forgiveness thing during the day. So please try to practice forgiveness. You'll get huge returns on it. And you're calming your mind. If you meditate, then it can get so that you can hear the voice for God, which I forgot to cover that part. That's the other thing that happens. Or you get thoughts, or you're inspired with a solution off the radio. Go, oh, that's by putting stuff on the altar, and then later you'll be inspired with a solution. But the ultimate thing from the Course is to hear the voice for God, because that will happen. That will happen to you. You will hear that voice. Okay, we're at 7:59. No one has another question. You can just unmute yourself or comment, mute yourself, and we say bye and all those things, and then we'll keep everything going, but I'll stop the recording. Bye, everybody. I love
Bye,
you
everybody.
guys.
I love you. Jenny. Love
Enjoy
you
your
all.
wisdom again. Love you.
Hello, everybody. Whoever can stay, I hope you can stay for a minute. It's
Bye.
lovely to have this group Sangha. It's called a group synergy. I'm going to stop the recording. Love you guys. Love you, Jonna. Bye, Bye. Stop recording.